What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and today we're going to be doing a video on my Halo 3 Special Edition Xbox 360. Now I just purchased this recently from my local resale shop, and you can see that my camera does not have a wide angle lens, so I have to pull it back in order to show the entire console. But we can see right here that this is the Halo 3 Xbox. The sticker says $120, but I paid $100 for it because I got just the console itself with no hard drive, cables, or controller. All that other stuff I've added separately. So this particular machine I got for one reason. I actually got it for one reason, but I'm debating on keeping it for a completely separate reason. So this is a Halo 3 Special Edition, which of course, I love this color scheme, and I always wanted one. I did buy one of these a long time ago. You may have seen that on my second channel, or on my first channel technically, a couple years ago, but I had to return that one because of issues with the disc tray. And unfortunately, I'm having the same issues with this one. I already had to take back the Opus because it didn't work. The disc tray had issues, and unfortunately this one has issues as well. But I'm debating on whether or not I'm actually going to take it back, because not only is this in great physical condition, other than the base plate being cracked right here, but there's something special about it. If I turn it on, we can see something a little... would help if the power was plugged in all the way. But we can see something a little bit special. This will... yeah. If you notice, that's the old startup sound. And of course, my soundbar was off, so you couldn't even hear it. But yes, you can hear how loud that drive is. There, that took it a while. But this is running the new Xbox experience, or what it was dubbed that back in 2009. And this particular dashboard is obviously very old. If you are familiar with 360s, you know that the 360 dashboards are generally rather hard to come by once they've been updated, because they're required to be updated if you want to use Xbox Live, if you want to play any new games that came out after the dashboard, etc. So this particular machine does, well, it has the old dashboard, and that's the biggest reason why I've been debating on keeping it despite the disc tray issues. And one thing I've found, and I don't know if I'll be able to recreate this on camera because it's very inconsistent, is that the disc tray will often pop itself back open after I've already opened it. So if I open this up real quick, it's a bit of an older drive. You can tell it's quite a bit slower, but we can see, thankfully it did not scratch my disc. This is one of my favorite Xbox 360 games, Namco Museum Virtual Arcade. I love arcade compilation discs. But if we put this in here, we can close it up. See, it's closed, and there we go. So you see how the light is blinking, and it says opening on the disc tray. It's not actually opening, but for some reason the trigger that tells the system that the tray is opening is being activated, and this will frequently happen in game as well. There are many games. In fact, this is the only game I've gotten to actually work, and that was after several tries. If I try to play a normal game that's not an arcade compilation, if I try to put in Halo 3 or Grand Theft Auto 4, obviously I can't put anything in after 2008 because it will upgrade the dashboard. But if I put in a normal 360 game, it doesn't even make it to, well, beyond the original startup screen for the game, because it'll just kick it off and drop me right back to the dashboard. So that's my biggest disappointment with this, because otherwise it's in good shape. You can tell that the fans are nice and quiet, at least for an old 360. You can hear a little bit of hum, but that's typical. There's no red ring of death. This is a Zephyr model, so it's supposed to be more likely to get the red ring of death than a Jasper or a Falcon. Of course, the Halo 3s only came in Zephyrs and lesser common, but they did come in Falcons as well towards the end of the run of this console, of this special edition. So you can, if you really love the Halo 3 edition, you can find one with the Falcon motherboard, and that will obviously be the one to choose over the Zephyr because it's far more reliable. If you want a fat 360, a Falcon or ideally a Jasper is the way to go. Opus, I mentioned in my previous video on the Opus that I wouldn't recommend it because of the lack of HDMI, and the Zephyr has HDMI and it's certainly better than a Xenon, but it's still potentially able to red ring, and of course it uses a lot more power since it uses the old school 360 power brick with the big fat cable, although you can get an updated version of this without the buttons. But yeah, we've got the big fat 16 amp power brick, and again, I need a different phone stand. So yeah, we can see this is still blinking. This whole thing is really struggling here, so we're going to open this up. See, there it stops. We're going to try this again. It says reading, and there we go. It says opening again. I don't know if we can get that. Can't really get both on camera, but so that's unfortunately the biggest hurdle with this machine, is now that I've removed the disc, I can't get it to stay. So one trick that I will often be able to do is to turn it off, and then I want to try to get this to stay on so I can show you a little bit of gameplay. I don't have my capture card over here yet, so we're just gonna have to record straight off the TV. I know this isn't gonna look the nicest, but I'm gonna turn it on. I don't have a Halo, I don't have a green controller to match. You hear power on, and it's blinking already. Probably help if I move this over like this so you can see it. And I just dropped the controller. Okay, there we go. We can see that is still blinking. Yep, so that just opened up like that. Get that on camera. So yeah, I probably should have shown this playing the game before I did this. But yeah, I'm at a crossroads as to what to do, because $100 is frankly too much for an Xbox, especially an old 360 that doesn't work right. But at the same time, it's an old dashboard, so it's not like I can easily swap this out for another one, unless I get one with a new dashboard on it, and that's not the case. In fact, I went back to the shop that I mentioned, and unfortunately, the only other Halo 3 console they have is has the fan mod on it, and it's in terrible condition, so I don't want that one. I could trade it out for a Slim, but I don't really want a Slim. I could trade it out for an Elite or an Arcade, but I already have those, so I really don't know what to do. I obviously have the option to just take it back and get my money back in the form of store credit, but the question is, do I want to do that and then sacrifice having a 360 on the NXE? I really wish that Arcade Machine 15 was here, but I haven't seen him in a while. But it'd be nice to get his opinion on this, since he's kind of the authority on old 360s, on what he thinks about this. So Arcade Machine 15, if you are somehow watching this, let me know what you would do in this situation. $100 for a Halo 3 console with NXE. Well, maybe I shouldn't say your situation, because you have a ton of consoles on NXE, so it'd probably be easier to make the decision to give it up. But I don't know, maybe I should keep it. If only like I might try asking if I could do some sort of partial refund, maybe like half, maybe get half back on it, to where this would only cost me like $50. Even that's still kind of a stretch, but you know, who knows. Ooh, did you just hear that sound the drive made? This particular disk drive makes a ton of noise. So, of course, since this is a compilation disc, if I go to games, which I have to figure out where it is on this dashboard. I think it's just under my Xbox. Yeah, here we go, game library. Yeah, so if we start one of these, like let's start New Rally X. Let's see if this works without opening. and we can hear the drive kicking up. For the record, I installed this to the hard drive. This disk, I installed it to the hard drive, but it doesn't seem to make a difference as far as the sound. But if we play this for a bit, just see how it goes. Oh, it probably helps if I sign in. It says signed in, return to the main menu. Okay. There we go. Play game. So I'll start at stage 17, which is going to be really difficult, obviously. Oh, and I just crashed. Trying to look at the cars and the flags at the same time is a little difficult. Let's see if I can't just beat this one level. Oh, shit. Damn it. Okay. Sorry for the expletives. Okay, I think I'll be able to do this now. Let's not jinx it. There we go. So we beat one level. And I died again. Okay. So many suicidal cars. This game doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know why all these cars would be forcibly trying to crash into you. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, I was trapped there, so not much I could do. Well, there we go. And you can hear that drive. You probably hear that. So, not great. But not exactly atypical for an old 360, although this one is in rather good condition, other than the flaw with the tray. You can see now it hasn't kicked me out yet. So it's very intermittent. So it doesn't do it all the time, but it's always when I first put in a disc, it will kick me out of the game. But sometimes if I restart the console with the disc inside, it'll then do it. I don't know if this is an issue with the belt, if this is something where me just cleaning the belt on the drive would fix it, because the drive looks clean on the inside. I don't see any obvious dirt or anything that would seem to insinuate that being the problem with the drive. So I don't know, but what I do know is that if anyone knows how I can fix this, fix the drive doing that, if maybe they had the same issue, because I've never seen this issue before. If it's something easy that I can fix without opening up the console, because the console still has its original warranty seal and I don't want to crack it open. So if I can do that, then I'll keep it. If it's just a simple thing that I can fix myself, I'll keep it, because it obviously doesn't have red ring. It obviously otherwise reads the discs. It doesn't have open tray error. So if I can just get it to stop opening like that, then this would be a great find, and one that I'd be very happy about. And you should have seen my reaction whenever I turned this on, because I didn't test these consoles before I brought them home. So when I turned this on in my living room, I actually hooked it up, like fully expecting to use it and have it be my main 360 in my living room to replace my arcade. I was fully intending on that being the case until wow, they're just dodging all the flags. So I was fully intending on that being the case, but obviously it has the old dashboard, so I'm not going to update it. At some point I will get some video capture of this, because on my other channel I did get video capture whenever I had a 360 with blades on it, and I have sold that since then, and I kind of regret it because I no longer have a 360 with blades, so I'd like to find another one. But in the meantime I do have one with NXE. And I had one with the Connect update, but with the Connect version of the NXE. But I don't have that one anymore. So I believe I only have a 360 with this, with the NXE, or with the latest dashboard. So, but I could be wrong. I'd have to go through all my 360s and see, because I have quite a few 360s. I'm pretty sure I might already have a Halo one, because I believe it's like my third or fourth Halo 3 edition that I've gotten. And so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Again, very loud drive when compared to my Jasper, which is my daily 360, my arcade. Yeah. So NXE. So yeah. Still not sure if I should keep this or not. Maybe I should just keep using it, and again, using it with old games only, obviously, and just see if the drive actually fails. I don't know. So I have installed a 120 gig drive on here just from a normal Elite. It didn't come with the Halo 3 drive. I'll probably buy one on eBay because the Halo 3 drives are not that expensive. And yeah, so that's pretty much that. If I do end up dailying a black 360 or one with black trim, I'll probably end up cannibalizing that Halo 3 drive and putting a 500 gig drive in it and replacing the 20. But because I'm pretty sure I have another Halo 3, and if I do, I'm pretty sure I have a stock Halo 3 drive. So I'll have a stock one and a modded one. And by modded, quote unquote, I mean upgraded, just the 500 gig drive. Because obviously 20 gigs is not very usable in 2022. 500 is really good for a 360. Anything 120 or above for a 360 is pretty good. I like to install my games, so for me, bare minimum is like 320 or maybe 250. But yeah, that's that. I don't really know what else to show on this. Maybe just get the startup one more time. Again, we can hear that disk drive just really grinding away. So I'll demo putting another game in. I'll put in one of my favorite old 360 games. Definitely my favorite old 360 game. And I actually like it better than the current version. And this is going to get a lot of hate, but it's my favorite game in the series. Grand Theft Auto 4. Yes, I like 4 more than 5. I know, call me crazy, right? So, I'm going to put that in and see how well that does in this. Oh wow, it didn't even try to read it. It just immediately started opening. Come on. There we go. Now it's reading it. Let's see if we can... Oh! Now it's opening again. Or at least allegedly opening. It's not actually opening. Come on! Please read. Okay, it's spin... No! Yeah, again, it never actually opens. It just sits there, blinks, and says that it's opening. So yeah, not great. So that's pretty much it. This is my Halo 3 Special Edition Xbox 360 with a partially working disk drive. So that's that. turn it off real quick. And I will, actually I don't really need to unplug it for this, but I'll show you the back of it and the front of it more in depth. So we can see this memory card slot's missing, this one's fine. And of course the USB door is broke like they always are. 120 gig drive, I put that on myself. And on the back, we can see 16.5 amps, so it's a Zephyr. Because of course it has HDMI. I've got the optical adapter plugged in for my soundbar. And we can see right there, the autofocus decides to work. Manufactured July 26th, 2007. So I'll have to do the math on when Halo 3 actually came out. But July 26th, I have a feeling that's the first Zephyrs. Or I should say the first Halo 3s. Because obviously the first Zephyrs were April 2007. That was the Elite. So this console came out after the Elite. And it's interesting because it had HDMI like the Elite, but it only had a 20 gigabyte hard drive when it came out. And of course the Pros were later updated with HDMI as well, and eventually given a 60 gigabyte hard drive and Falcon motherboards. But yeah, so got that little adapter plugged in for the optical, and of course HDMI. So yeah, that's that. Again, no red ring of death, nothing like that. So all that is good, because any 360 that's 2007 or earlier is susceptible. Any 360 that's 2008 or later, for the most part, is fine. Those don't usually get red rings. Falcons can. Falcons and Opuses can get the red ring. I mean, technically the Jasper can too, but they can, but it's really unlikely. But I do still see it happen. Jaspers, I've never seen a Jasper get red ring of death, ever. So Jasper is easily the most reliable if you are really dedicated and you really want to play on a Fat 360, which personally to me the Fat 360 is the best 360, but that's just me. Because the Slims have the stupid touch sensors that are always a pain and always annoying because they make a sound every time you just want to eject a disc. That gets really old after a while. And then of course the E doesn't have optical, and it also doesn't have a way to adapt to optical, which is frustrating. And then of course the 360E also, you can't use the old AV ports, you can't use any of that stuff. So yeah, they all have their advantages and disadvantages, but for me personally the S is actually my least favorite 360. But I don't like the E because the E doesn't have the ring of light. So the E, to my knowledge, doesn't show you when controllers are synced. If anyone who has a 360E can confirm, because it doesn't look like it actually shows that. So yeah, so again, for me personally, the 360 Fat is the best model. Yes, it's the biggest and bulkiest, but I don't mind that because it's still a reasonable size. Yes, they don't have built-in Wi-Fi, but that's fine because in my living room I use Ethernet, and in my bedroom I have a Wi-Fi adapter anyways. And and it's a lot harder to justify buying a newer 360 when you've already invested in all the old stuff for the old 360s, like this style of hard drive, like the Wi-Fi, like this little adapter, you know, all that stuff. So that's that. But yeah, so what would you do in this situation? Would you take it back given the disk drive issues, or would you just suck it up and keep it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This was Intellitech Mobile signing out. I hope you all have a good one. Peace.